I just finished designing the variable exhaust nozzle for the turbojet, and now I'm going to be showing you how to assemble it. Let's go. The front of the turbojet is a separate video. I'll have it linked somewhere up here. Go check that out. So instead of printing the mixer, or in my case, the magnetic nozzles I designed, we're going to be printing all the various parts for the variable exhaust nozzle. For this to work, you'll have to get some additional hardware. If you don't want the hassle of sourcing all the parts yourself, I put together a kit on my website with high quality parts and free shipping to all of Europe. The kit includes nylock nuts, M3 bolts, fitting tie rod ends, 6 ball bearings, and threaded rods. The 3D printed parts are the jet pipe, the control ring, the bearing pins and rollers, the primary and secondary pedals, the corrugated liner, and the flame holders. Okay, first step. Glue your bearing pins into the jet pipe, then add the bearings into the bearing rollers, and add these to the bearing pins. Next, we're going to prepare the rods. Screw the tie rods onto the threaded rods. Next up, add 6 screws to your control ring and fixate the tie rods onto them. Tighten them until you just see the bolt coming through on the other side, or you see the plastic deforming or even changing color. Stop, that's plenty of tight. Now we're going to attach the primary and secondary pedals to the main body. We're going to use 270 millimeters of standard filament and use this as a hinge for the pedals. So on the main body, there's one hinge with a bigger hole. Locate that one and start feeding the filament through that one. We're going to start with the primary pedal, going all around alternating, and then ending with the secondary pedal with a little ball on it. You're going to want to use your screwdriver or something to push the filament all the way through so it makes room for the ball to go into the hinge. Great, you got your pedals installed. Make sure that there isn't too much resistance. It should move pretty freely. My print profiles are 0.16 millimeters because I want that little bit more detail for the hinges to be smoother. Next up, we're going to add the control ring with the rods onto the main body. We're going to use the second pair of bearing pins and push them through. Now add your bearings and make sure that your control ring doesn't have too much movement up and down. I wouldn't glue these pins in place. If you ever want to remove the ring, you can. So I have mine just pressure fit in there with the bearings holding onto them. Now you can add your bolts to the pedals and start adjusting the height of the tie rods. If they're in the perfect up position, your nozzle should be in a perfectly closed condition. This will take a little bit of time and finesse, but if you get it right, you'll get rewarded. It's awesome. Use 6 more nylock nuts to lock it all in place, and then you're basically done. Just add your liner and bolt the whole thing to the turbojet. Now open the nozzle and add the flame holders. And there you go, we're already done. The rod pushing idea for the mechanism I kind of stole from Brandy? A fellow German who builds jet engines and tests them in his garden. So thanks for the inspiration for this great mechanism. I know that in real life the Afterburner is usually a much longer section. It still demonstrates the functionality of the flame holders and the liner perfectly. And making it shorter reduces print time and print material usage. You might be wondering why we're using M3 bolts and not the existing 2.5. I couldn't find any decent M2.5 tie rod ends, so I went with M3. It still works great. If you're downloading this on MakerWorld, I have a print profile with 3 colors, but really, you can do whatever you want. If you have any questions or ideas, or I messed something up in my design, please let me know. And definitely check out the front section of the turbojet. Thank you so much for supporting me. Have a great day.